Welcome back. We're talking the World Wildlife Day, which is celebrated on the 3rd of March. And again, I like to reiterate one of the few statements that have come out here that have hit below the belt. How do you say? Yeah, punch below the belt. That man is the least equipped to live on this planet. Yet man, in ignorance and arrogance, wants to dominate the planet.
Yes.
Whoa.
Life below water. So we're looking at everything underwater and the challenges that they face, which is why there's this celebration, I assume. So what things are those? I know that there's invasion by plastics. What else is endangering their lives?
Sand dredging. That is ongoing, especially in an urban city like ours.
Wait, sand dredging, I don't understand. Because there are some places where they need to dredge the water.
So that ships can go through.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, you should have done a proper here. Because where you're dredging actually could be where the spawning area.
Okay.
And that means you're deriving new offspring of coming up because they need the sand probably at the shallow side where you think is not good for the ship to go. So you should have done a proper EIA looking at that. Also, we know what happens in the Niger Delta, a lot of spillage and usage.
Even, from oil exploration. Oil exploration, yes.
Even our local motorized engine.
Motorboat.
They do a lot of spill. You see, when you're on all these local motorized boats, you see their oil spilling on the lagoon as they go. So you can imagine 5 trips in a day, and for each of that trip, it spills. Cumulatively over years. That's what it does. So it's not just about the plastics, it's also about other usage. Most of the dumping of human waste happens in our lagoons. Just check it out.
Human waste kill them.
Yeah, when people take away the suckaways of homes.
We hear that the fish eat them.
But also, you're not sure what the composition also is. Maintain issue comes up and things like that. So it should have been regulated, properly, treated before being discharged. But nobody looks at that part of, and more importantly, there's a livelihood issue attached to the life below the water. Huge. The riverine area, actually, their livelihood is attached to that. 11 years ago, when I joined the foundation, there used to be crabs at the Lekki Conservation Center. Now, those crabs are not there again because the road has increased in height, the flood water comes in regularly now. So where the crab used to, reproduce have been taken over with water. So these are issues, and it cut across us. And we have huge.
You were saying something about something about that happens in urban areas, like especially where they have to reclaim lands to build. Does that also affect?
It does, a lot. It does.
But I thought, growing up, we were told that water is not
an enemy.
No, you only displace water. You do not.
No, you don't absorb water.
So by the time you're reclaiming here, the water just moves.
Yeah, it just moves.
But moving somewhere else means if those people down the road are not equipped to take care of that displacement, and that's what's happening. You displace it at the beach, the Victoria VI side, then it goes to Alpha Beach and claim those parts and displace people and make them vulnerable, no cover over their heads and stuff like that. Displaced family. The magnitude is quite huge if we actually have to quantify and track the effect. If you go down Ogun water side, you see their sand increasing, their beach is increasing. And they were happy. And I laughed because the wash-off from VI is just going there, this place. As if facilities and human activities get there too, it displaces the same thing and move it downstream. So we're looking at, that's why I said we have to look at the coastal line master plan and seed, the land use, not just take the whole place as an area to build up, but seed each land use so that there's an interaction. Then the kind of building you put on it is quite different. So that you're not only looking at an engineering perspective, you're also looking at an environmental perspective. So you have a mix of engineering and environmental issue in addressing some of these issues.
Desmond, all these things we're talking about, is this why fish has become like gold? Fish is so expensive. Seafood is so expensive now.
In those days, days gone by, you get massive, big barracudas and so on, so cheap you can hardly see. Yeah, definitely. We are depleting the whole life support systems. And this is where there is now an alarm that's blowing very, very loud. In fact, the Secretary General of the United Nations has said it himself very clearly. He wonders how long and how loud the alarm will have to blow before people start taking necessary action. He also said that right now, if mankind doesn't change his ways very rapidly, we are on a suicide mission and we are facing an existential threat, which is also what Al Gore has said, which is what Prince Charles has said, which is what one of the last speeches that the late great Kofi Annan said, is the same thing, that we are on an existential threat right now. And this is one of the manifestations of it, depletion of fish stock. Why is the fish stock depleting? Because of uncontrolled, unregulated types of fishing. Far too much plastic that's going in, that's killing off the fish. And also, particularly, we're endangering what they call flagship species. Within the aquatic terrain, you have certain species that are flagship species, like the turtle. The turtle has a very, very important role to play. Similar in a way to the role that the pangolin is playing on land, with termite. The turtle is one of the few creatures that can handle jellyfish. That's the favorite food of turtle. It will just wipe out kilograms upon kilograms of jellyfish on a regular basis. Very few other sea creatures can control the population of jellyfish.
And they grow very fast.
And they grow very, very fast. But what's happening now is that the turtle is being wiped out. Jellyfish are proliferating.
Oh, yes.
When they sting,
as they say.
and they're dealing with the fish population because they're eating the spawn of fish. Yes. So, we, again, in our arrogance, our arrogance, we're just going in and thinking, nature is just a machine that we can plunder anyhow. We cannot do that. It's backfiring, and that reaction from nature is becoming exceedingly dangerous. And it's reaching a critical stage. And it's blowing an alarm that we all should be warned to take care of how we are treating nature and to listen to scriptural injunction and love God and love His creation.
Dr. Noja, how do we move out of this?
Well, as NCF, the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, we continue to do our bit. That's why we have programs of advocacy. We have our research component.
Sorry if I may interrupt you. Yeah. Do you interact much with the government, like the National Park Service?
Yes, we do. We work very closely with them, and we try to ensure that they do the work that they should do, because NCF sits on the board of the National Park, and we try to ensure that they work. And with some government agencies, there are issues of funding and things like that, which we are also working with them to see how, because we're trying to project these things, project the problems where the government agencies will be able to work with, but if they are not properly funded, it becomes a problem. So we're working with them on that. And that is why as NTF, we're trying to do what we can. As we are hoping sometime that towards the end of March, we are bringing stakeholders together, expert stakeholders, in conjunction with the Rivers State University, to look at the coastal and marine environment of Nigeria. What is the way forward?
Welcome back. Now, that was Humble Smith. I like there's a part of that song that says
Ifesinachi?
no, that's Osinachi. That was but this one says somebody reports my case, help me thank the Lord. I like that line. Somebody reports my case, help me thank the Lord. But he was supposed to be our artist of the week. We understand he's somewhere stuck in traffic, Lagos traffic.
Well, we had that normal, well, it's not normal, but we had that thing on the highway this morning.
Yeah,
so
still no, you can't, sometimes you get there, you don't know what the cause is.
it's still way up.
Oh, way up. Okay.
Towards Shagamo.
Yeah,
so
so
you didn't
please,
get to it, but the tailspin or whatever it's called.
Gets all the way down
all
to
the way
beyond
to
the
toll gate.
All right. So anyway, he sent his apologies, and we do apologize. Hopefully, we'll have him maybe next week after the elections. But Alera, talking about the elections, Ifalade, I hope I got your name well. Ifalade Oloruntoba sent in this tweet. Oloruntoba. It says, stringent requirements of party registration was part of the INEC Act before it was expunged when the Supreme Court ruled that it was illegal and a violation of the fundamental human rights of Nigerians when the legal luminary Gani Fayemi challenged it in court. In other words, that's why we have so many parties today.
Maybe it's time to challenge it again. Because 71 parties on the ballot paper is not going to help any voter.
Oh, and guess what? Someone was saying that there are at least 100 other parties waiting to be registered. So at the end of the day, we might end up having about 250 plus political parties in the country.
But why this waste of time and waste of paper and waste of money?
How?
You print 200 parties on a ballot paper?
The Constitution...
For us to go and vote?
The Constitution guarantees you freedom of association.
There's some we never even heard about. So what were they even doing on the ballot paper to start with?
They are a registered political party.
You could have fooled me.
No, I wasn't trying to.
they're all there. They're all, as they say, they're also rans.
Maybe.
Nobody noticed nobody noticed, nobody knew them. Nobody noticed them.
Maybe they would.
Some of them had 0 votes.
Maybe, Alera, maybe they would metamorphose into local government parties. They don't have to contest at the national state.
That's what we're advocating, isn't it? You don't have to be a national party. You can be a local. APGA is a local party.
No, don't go there. APGA might sue you for that.
Okay.
Don't call them a local party.
I do apologize.
They had a presidential candidate.
I do apologize.
So, but you could decide that, okay, I want to, in this
play
region,
only in the West.
Win all the local government seats. Win all the councilorships. Win everything in the state assembly. You can keep your national. I'm okay here.
I am playing on the local field, and I am happy, and I'm winning.
No, it's not just winning.
And
I'm serving the people.
I'm serving the people. Well.
So that the people will get to a point and say, you know what? It's time, we want you to...
Yes, sir.
Why are we politicians? We're not politicians.
No, we're just talking politics.
No, we're not talking politics anymore. Anyway, so...
but don't forget to go out and vote next week.
Indeed. Go out and exercise your franchise. Don't say because last week what happened. No. Go out and exercise your franchise. As Chimanaji said, write the examination and allow the examiner to do his own. But don't say, I will not write the exam because I don't know the examiner. No. Write the exam and let the examiner.
You don't know the examiner. You don't know what your result is going to be. Still write the exam.
Indeed.
That's next week, governorship and
state assemblies. And in the FCT, it also happens to be their own council elections as well, coincides with that and all that. So, but basically just be a good Nigerian and let's work to build a better nation, all of us.
And do your own bit. There's a traffic jam, there are 2 lanes, you form a 3rd lane. That is not government. That is you. That is you causing confusion and generally being indisciplined.
And some of the people who do that are not necessarily the downfall drivers. Because sometimes it's the buses, these yellow buses. No, it is some of us in our exquisite cars, in our Jeeps, sometimes with our escort vehicles that cause these problems. So please, let's be sane. Let's be sane.
So that's sunrise for today. Same time, same station next week.
No.
Oh. week after.
After the
Next week is
election.
election, of
Yeah.
course. We'll bring you a fresh, sizzling edition. I am Alero Edu, wishing you a happy weekend indeed, and happy voting next week.
Echo voting, as they
Echo
say.
voting.
Thank you so much. I'm Neo Taigbe. Go out there and be the best you can be. Love your neighbor as yourself, and just be a fantastic Nigerian. Go and look at the national anthem. Those of us that say we don't have a vision for this country, the national anthem has a vision and a plan for Nigeria. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.